Geoff, son's just picked up his gold medal. What are your first impressions after that, and how were you able to keep talking as the stadium announcer as that unfolded?
So, I think on this occasion he came in as British champion, which has never happened before. So he was ahead of Josh and Neil and Jake Hayward. So he was in good form. He's had a very good training camp. So everybody was saying, "Oh, I think you'll get a medal. I think you'll get a medal." And the discussion we were having was, "Well, yeah, that would be nice, but how many times in your life will you line up for a global final in this kind of race form, in this kind of fitness, strength and speed? You've got to take a risk." And when the break happened, he covered it. And often when he hits the front with 150 to go, he's quite hard to beat. So I felt like he had a chance there. And I just concentrated on identifying the other medalists and keeping an eye on the time and trying not to get too carried away, really.
How much of a lump is in your throat when he makes that move? Obviously, it played out very similarly to how he just won the British title.
Yes, it did. And I there were some kickers there, Josh and Chariot and Jakob. But he just got himself in front off a fast pace, so they weren't all going to be able to close in 24 seconds. And I thought with 150 to go, well, this was the plan. Just hold on. And I thought his form was pretty good. So people saying, "Oh, was it his perfect race?" Well, of course, he's won a world title. But what is he, half a second outside the British record? And that sort of thing does, you think, that would have been great, but that's for another day.
What were your emotions like after trying to do your job as a kid?
It was all right. It was all right. I mean, this has happened a lot of times. So I must have called Jake home 10 or 12 times in international championships. So I am familiar with it. It's just that he's never done better than bronze. But yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because if I get carried away, I'll get thrown off the event. If I act like really robotic, it's like, do you not care? Are you not bothered about your son? Where's your emotions? What's wrong with you? But it was good.
You do every event, like you're the announcer, so do you only do 1500?
Yes, I always, if I can, do the men's and women's 1500. I didn't do the men's 100 this year because the women's 15 and men's 15 were in the same session, so it's my preference.
But it's not your only event, naturally. Many other events as well that you do.
Yes, I mean, within tonight's session I did the 400 hurdles, the women's high jump and the heats of the semi-finals of the women's 200, so it was a busy session. So even after he'd finished, I had the 400 hurdles to do.
You spoke about the tactics. Would you admit that tonight, even if he didn't do the perfect race, say, his tactical choices outnumbered Jakob's tactical choices?
I thought Jake's positioning and change of pace were as good as I've ever seen. I think, if he has run better, I can't think of it now. So it was good. Yeah.
You go back to when you first started coaching as a kid. How did you ever think this would be possible, that you could see this trajectory playing out?
So we didn't put a lot of pressure on him. So Susan coached him to age 16, just school stuff. And I coached him from age 16, so what's that, 2010 to now, so 12 years. And it's been pretty steady progression. He's had a few injuries, he's had a few disappointments, like he couldn't run a qualifying time for Rio or Beijing, and that set him back a little bit. But I would say if you look at it, year on year, he's continued to improve. And I think, he does have a very good racing brain and a good competitive temperament for the big occasion. So I was very surprised when he won the European Juniors in 2013 in Rieti. And off the back of that, you thought, well, if he can handle those occasions, that will stand him in good stead. And I must say, hats off to British Milers Club, because even this winter, he was meant to run one at Watford, an 800, when he had a bit of a hamstring. But British Milers Club has been a key part of his journey through the sport. And I think with Neil and Laura and Gemma and Keely Hodgkinson, you can see BMC has played a big part for all of them.
And little time to celebrate, obviously, because the Commonwealth Games is.
Yeah, so I've said that to him. That was one of the first things I said. He said, "Oh, let me just have today." Okay.